everyone, and welcome back to The English Path. I'm Lily.
And I'm Jack. It's great to be here with you again.
Today, we have a really fun topic, something we all experience in life, jobs. We'll learn how to talk about what you do, describe your daily work, and even share your future career dreams.
That's right, Lily. Talking about your job is one of the most common topics in English. Whether you're meeting someone new or chatting with a friend, it's really helpful to know how to describe your work clearly.
Yes, and before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to The English Path if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up and share this episode with your friends who are learning English too.
That really helps our channel grow. Thank you so much. Okay, Lily, are you ready to start?
I'm always ready, Jack. Let's get into it.
Let's start with the simple question. If someone asks you, "What do you do?" how do you answer?
Great question. The easiest way is to say your job title. For example, I'm a teacher or I'm a nurse. Easy, right?
Or you can say, "I work as a driver," or "I work as a designer." Both are correct and sound natural. So, Lily, what's your job?
I'm a podcast host here at The English Path, and I also work as a writer and producer. I love creating lessons like this one.
That sounds like a great job. I'm an English teacher. I teach both in person and online.
That's awesome. And sometimes people also ask where you work. In that case, you can say, I work for a software company, or I work at a school.
Or, if you have your own business, you can say, "I'm self-employed."
Right. Being self-employed means you're your own boss. You work for yourself.
Sounds pretty nice.
Now, let's talk about what you actually do every day. When someone asks, what are your responsibilities? How can you answer?
You can start with, "I'm responsible for." For example, "I'm responsible for teaching English to students," or "I'm responsible for planning lessons."
Perfect. You can also say, my main task is, for example, my main task is to create online content.
Another way to describe your work is to say, I help customers, or I manage a team. These are simple but clear ways to talk about your job.
Yes. And one more useful phrase, a typical day at work looks like. That's a great way to describe your daily activities.
For example, a typical day at work looks like teaching 3 classes, checking homework, and preparing new materials.
That's a busy day, Jack.
It sure is.
Okay, let's move on to your daily routine, what your workday looks like from start to finish.
Good idea. You can start by saying when you begin and end work. For example, I start work at 8:30 and finish at 4:30.
Then you can talk about what you do during the day. For example, in the morning, I check emails and attend a short meeting.
Yes, that's common for many people. Then you can say, after that, I work on my main tasks until lunch.
And don't forget about breaks. You can say, I have lunch with my coworkers, or I take a coffee break in the afternoon.
That's a good point. Let me give you an example of my workday. Every morning, I prepare lessons
and teach 2 classes. I usually have lunch around 12:30, and in the afternoon, I teach again or meet with students. I finish work around 4:30.
That sounds very organized. Here's my example. I start my day by checking messages from our team. Then I record a new podcast episode or write scripts. I usually finish around 5 o'clock in the evening.
Nice! So when you describe your daily routine, think about when you start and finish, what tasks you do, and how you spend your breaks.
Exactly. That gives a complete picture of your workday.
Now, let's talk about where you work. Your work environment.
Yes. These days, there are many types of work setups. You can say, I work in an office, or I work from home, or I have a hybrid job.
A hybrid job means you work some days at home and some days in the office.
Right. And some people work outdoors. For example, a gardener, a construction worker, or a delivery driver.
True, I work mostly indoors, but sometimes I record lessons outdoors. It's refreshing.
That's nice. You can also talk about the atmosphere of your workplace. Is it formal or informal?
In a formal workplace, people usually wear suits and there are clear rules. In an informal workplace, people dress casually and it feels more relaxed.
My work is informal. I can wear comfortable clothes.
Same here. It's great.
You can also describe your relationships with coworkers. For example, my colleagues are friendly, or we work well as a team.
Yes. Or we often help each other. Or we are like a family.
That's lovely. And let's go over a few useful vocabulary words. Open space. A large office area with many desks and no walls. Deadline. The time when something must be finished. Boss. The person who manages your work. Coworker. Someone you work with. Client. A person or company you do work for. Team. A group of people who work together. Flexible hours. When you can choose your working time.
Great list. For example, I have a deadline next Monday. Or I like my flexible hours because I can start work early.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about how you feel about your job. Job satisfaction. Do you like what you do, Lily?
Oh, yes, I love my job. I enjoy creating lessons and connecting with learners around the world. So I can say, I love my job because it's creative and meaningful.
That's a great sentence. You can also say, I like my job because the people are nice. Or, I enjoy my job because I learn new things every day.
Sometimes we can also talk about what we enjoy the most or the least. For example, I enjoy recording episodes the most, but I don't really like editing.
I get that. For me, I enjoy teaching the most. It's great to see students make progress. But I enjoy marking homework the least. It takes a long time.
I can imagine. And if you don't like your job, you can say, I'm looking for a new opportunity, or I'd like to find a job with better pay.
Or, I want to find a job that's closer to my home.
Exactly. Here's a good structure. My job can be stressful sometimes, but I love my coworkers. It's not easy, but it's rewarding.
Nice examples. So when you talk about job satisfaction, think about what you enjoy, what's difficult, and what you'd like to change.
Okay, let's go back in time. How can we talk about our past jobs or work experience?
Good question. You can start with, I used to work as. For example, I used to work as a waiter. Or, I used to work in a small company.
Yes! You can also say, before this job, I was a student. Or, before this, I worked part-time in a bookstore.
You can also talk about what you learned in your old job. For example, in my last job, I learned how to communicate with customers. Or, I learned to work in a team.
That's right. It shows your skills and experience. You can also talk about your career path, the story of your work life.
Like, I started as an assistant, and now I'm a manager. It shows growth and progress.
Exactly. So when someone asks, what did you do before? You can tell a short story about your past work and what you learned.
Now let's look forward, the future. Lily, what are your career goals?
Good question. I'd like to manage my own English learning platform one day. That's my dream.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I'd love to travel more and teach English in different countries around the world.
That's such a great goal, Jack. And you can also talk about skills you want to improve. For example, I want to learn more about technology. Or I want to improve my public speaking skills.
Yes, or I'd like to take a course in digital marketing. Or I want to become an expert in my field.
That's right. And to talk about your dream job, you can say, my dream job is to be a travel writer. Or, my dream job is to work for a big company.
Or, my dream job is to be a full-time YouTuber teaching English to millions of people.
That sounds perfect for the English path.
I think so too. Now, let's talk about how to ask other people about their jobs. This is great for small talk and meeting new people.
Yes, the most common question is, what do you do? Simple and friendly.
After they answer, you can ask, do you like your job? That shows interest.
You can also ask, how long have you worked there? Or, where do you work?
Yes. For example, I've worked there for 3 years.
Another great question is, what's the most interesting part of your job?
Or, what does a typical day look like for you?
Exactly. These questions help you keep a natural conversation going and learn more about the person.
Wow, Jack, we've covered so much today. Let's do a quick review.
Sure. Today we learned how to talk about your job title and responsibilities, describe your daily work routine, and talk about your work environment.
Share your feelings about your job. Discuss your past work experience.
Talk about future career goals. Ask others about their jobs.
Perfect summary. And we also learned lots of useful words like coworker, deadline, boss, and flexible hours.
That's right.
Now it's your turn. Try answering these questions out loud. What do you do? Where do you work? What are your main responsibilities? Do you like your job? Why or why not? What's your dream job?
Practicing these answers will help you sound more confident when talking about your job in real life.
Absolutely. And remember, don't worry about mistakes. The more you practice, the better you get.
Well, that's all for today's episode of The English Path.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed learning how to talk about your job in English.
If you liked this episode, please subscribe, leave us a comment, and share it with your friends.
And tell us in the comments, what's your dream job? We love reading your answers.
See you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.